everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to get ready to get started. Here. Just want to first of all welcome everybody for coming out to the Dwight Baldwin Drum Park dedication. I'll tell you, it's just very emotional and very just a happy occasion here. Once again, my name's Akil Peck, City Councilor here in New London, and last year, a year to this day, was when I met with the wonderful family of Dwight Baldwin, and it's just, I believe it's just God just putting everything in place and just making sure that it was done right. And I can't thank enough Rick Martin, Director of Cultural District in New London. Yes, please give it up for him. And I cannot thank Curtis Goodwin for his expertise in helping us with the whole addition to the Heritage Trail. Miss Phillips, I cannot thank her enough for getting together with the drummers and getting the word out to a lot of people. And of course, you know, you'll hear more from other speakers, but I also want to recognize the President of City Council, Councilor President Dice, who is a big supporter of this, and I'm thankful for her for that. We have Representative Nolan that's here. We have Director Reyes that's here. So it's just a community effort. That's what you're seeing here. It's just a community. We have Councilor Dominguez. So once again, I'm not going to hold you guys because we just have so much going on today and such a great celebration. So I first would like to bring up, to say a word of prayer, Miss Kathy Zoll.
So let us pray. Gracious God, we know that you are everywhere, in everything. But we give special thanks today for the way in which we see you in this gathered community of people that care about each other, care about our city, and care about supporting the incredible diversity of our community. We give thanks for the way we hear you in the drumbeat of the music, and we feel you in our hearts. We give thanks, Lord, that you remind us always of the ways in which you are with us, and we pray that this might strengthen us to know you more deeply, to follow you more faithfully, and to give our lives over to building the kingdom of justice and peace that is your will. Amen.
All right, so moving right along. So New London is one of, I believe it's only three designated cultural commissions in the state of Connecticut. So as you can see, we're trailblazing in the city of New London. And I couldn't be more proud to introduce the next speaker, who happens to be our fearless leader of the Cultural District Commission of New London, Connecticut, Mr. Rich Martin.
Hey everybody, this is just a wonderful day. It was just a year ago that I had an opportunity to meet the Baldwin family. They came into my shop wearing t-shirts with the professor on them and amazing energy, and they had this wonderful idea to celebrate the man, but the music and the community and family and everything that we are all about here in New London, and that the Cultural District is all about. So, you know, we signed on to this project. This is a way for us to bring our community downtown, engaged with each other, play music together, be a community. It's really all about that. So this is the kind of thing that the Cultural District wants to do. We want to highlight what comes up out of our people and celebrate family and faith and music and culture. So thank you all for being here. This is a legacy that will be with us for a long time to come, and thank you to the Baldwin family for the wonderful idea that they brought to us.
Thank you, Director Martin. And next, I would like to call up our state rep, Anthony Nolan, who is just an amazing state rep here in London. He cares about our youth, he cares about this community, and I'm just happy to have him here because he's a very busy man. So, State Rep Anthony Nolan.
How we doing? First, I want to thank the family, the Baldwin family, just, you know, the exact thing that he wanted to see in our community. I met Dwight in 1998 when I was here, and he was a very integral part of me getting and having a relationship with a lot of our youth. And I know him as the professor of percussion. He implemented so many different programs, or was part of so many different programs down here. He would set up by himself and just play and bring people in. And then he would take bongos and drums and flutes and noise boards out of his bag so people can join him down here. So we all know that he's looking down going, that's what I wanted in the first place. And that is what that is what has been provided for him. I thank you, Akil, the Cultural Commission. I thank everybody who had a foot in this, because this is what we need downtown, to bring people downtown, especially the kids who like to play instruments. And I just say, before you leave, please sit down, touch, make noise, and have fun. Get some pictures so you can send it out there, because this is something that people from other communities are going to see us doing, and they're going to know that it was the honor of Dwight. And I'm just happy to be here. Thanks again, family.
Thank you, State Representative Nolan. Next, I would like to call up Councilor Dominguez, who is the liaison for the Cultural District. I would like to call him up to say a few things, say a few words, and then after that, I'd like to hear from one of Dwight Baldwin's past students.
Good morning, everyone. What an honor to be here. And you know what a tremendous thing for us to do in the city. You know, I know we honor the land and, you know, of course, the you know, everything that we do. But one of the things that I always believe that it's important is that we honor people. We honor people and what they contribute to the city. So Dwight Baldwin, known as the professor, incredible drumming talent, passion, and what he did is something that, you know, it's rare. He invested in, which I believe is the greatest thing. You invest in human lives, and he invested in children, and in youth and adults, not only here in New London, but all over the world, internationally. So I want to honor the family, honor the legacy he left, and you know what, make sure that you take pictures, like State Rep Nolan said, take pictures of everything happening here. We need to have a tag, a hashtag, whether it's Dwight Baldwin, you know, drumming, whatever, you guys come up with it, you guys come up with it, but again, it's an honor to be here for that reason. Just the legacy that this man has brought to the city, and that we're always going to cherish. And the great thing too is that all those thousands of youth and children he touched, guess what? They're not going to forget that, and they can continue to spread what he did. So again, God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dominguez. And now I also want to recognize we also have Councilor John Sadie that's here in the audience. We can give a applause for him for being here and supporting this. And now we have the mayor, and I would like to call the mayor up at this time to say a few words, please. And also President Dice.
I want to recognize these young leaders in our community who are, you know, started this initiative, and this is yet just another addition to celebrating the Black heritage of this very, very rich cultural community here, rich for its Black heritage. Walking through the crowd last night, it was astonishing to see how many people were stopped at the end of Amistad Pier, reading the plaques that we have there, learning about our history, we're sharing our history, and this is just another great individual that we're recognizing and making sure that this history is spoken, is taught, is recognized. It's very important. So thank you all. This is a tribute to the work that's being done here. And I want to recognize a great partner also in this, Council President Riona Dice.
Dwight Baldwin worked with include the Drop-In Learning Center. See, what was awesome is that he came to our after-school program. He came to our after-school program providing drumming. But I was going through my pictures and my CD, and I said, oh my goodness, I forgot. 2007, he was at Camp Rotary teaching my middle school kids. So I just want people to know that when we talk about people invested in the youth of our community and the items and the workshop, see, one of the things about drumming, besides teaching direction, learning rhythm, working together, I was so impressed and so thankful that he worked with me for many years. And that is really important because all these youth that experience that have that instilled in them. And that is really important. So the one thing I forgot to mention was the NAACP youth. I don't know if anybody remember the parade. I think Valerie, that's when you was in charge, Val, in charge of the parade. He had the NAACP youth. He had the kids drumming right behind the truck that said NAACP. So when we think about people invested in community, it is awesome that we can invest in them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Passero, and thank you, President Dice, for that. Next, I would also like to bring up one of Dwight Baldwin, the professor's students, to say a few things and to reflect on what impact that Dwight had on him. And also, before I do that, I also want to let you know that this work here could also not be possible without the business owners. We have the owner of Thames Greenery here, and I want to thank her for working with us because we collaborated with everyone. We didn't want to just put something here without talking to the neighbors and the business owners. So I want to thank her for being here today and thank her for supporting this. So at this time, I would like to bring up Arnell Peck.
Morning, everybody. So I'm just going to say a few words about the first time I met Dwight Baldwin and a little description about him. So Dwight the Professor Baldwin was 69 when he passed away on December 3rd, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. The professor was born in Sewickley, Pennsylvania to Alvina Bunton and Gordon and Henry Johnson. Baldwin was raised by his mom and her former husband, Enoch Baldwin. And it was at a young age that Dwight had developed a passion for music. He graduated from New London High School and attended Thames Valley Community College here in Connecticut. Dwight went on to Electric Boat as a welder for several years. Dwight the Professor later left EB to pursue his passion for music. He developed a drum therapy program at the Montreal Association for the Blind and Handicapped in Canada. He later on went to conduct hands-on drum/percussion workshops all over the world for 30 plus years, teaching the ABCs of drumming to the young and old alike. I was around the age of 7 when I was able to attend one of his drumming circles at the New London Public Library with my family. At this session, I was met with high energy performance that Dwight had organized for the youth of New London. My sister and I were invited to play around on different types of percussion instruments, along with the other children that were there, almost similar to this drum set that is open to the public for all ages. I'm happy that my father, Councilor Peck, has arranged this drum park for residents and tourists to explore their interests and capabilities. And I'm sure Dwight Baldwin would have loved this attraction too. Please share the word about this drum park and take care of it the same way Dwight took care of the community and his family surrounding him. Thank you.
I would like to add to the list one of Dwight's neighbors to say just a few words real quick, and then we'll move on from there. But I'm so happy to have this much support and as many people that I see before us today. And after one of the neighbors speaks, we'll have Miss Phillips come up.
I knew Dwight as my neighbor. We kind of grew up together. He bought his first car from my father's parking lot. My name is Jeff from Bernie's on Jefferson Avenue. Dwight saw many generations of pointers which I raised on the property. He was always a friend to them. But besides drugs, the reason why I want to speak today is I want you to know he had other passions in life other than just drums. Animals was one of it. We had feral cats. He made sure they got ate, they fed. He also, like I said, was a friend to all our pets. But there was one thing that Dwight loved more than drums: Jaguars. I towed his cars more times than you can ever believe. My toolbox, Dwight considered his toolbox. He was a great friend, and I'm sorry to see him gone. I really do miss him. There's not many men out there that was like Dwight, who cared about the community and went beyond his own passions, like I said, for driving cars that never ran right and always broke down and needed a set of jumper cables, and I can go on and on and on. Air for the tires, whatever, quarter oil. But besides that, the issue is that he really cared about the children. I have no children. For those people that do, you should appreciate a man like this who looked out for your children and want to bring culture. Believe me, he did not play drums good at first. All right? So bear with it when you do bring your children into the art, the culture. That Dwight was never a professional right from the start either. And I'll miss him greatly. And I know all the pets and all the feral animals in the neighborhood miss him even more.
Thank you. And now at this time, I would like Ms. Phillips to come up, and after Ms. Phillips, we'll hear from the family.
I was at most every drum circle that he conducted in New London. Downtown New London is the heart of the city of New London, but it was also the heart of Dwight Baldwin. He loved to come down here and drum for the tourists and visitors. His main spot was on City Pier, where he would welcome commuters, tourists, as they got off the train, both ferries, the bus station, the taxi cabs. He wanted to, and the train. He wanted to drum and welcome everyone into New London. That was the highlight of our drum circles. Once a week, we would meet on City Pier. Downtown, again, was Dwight's favorite place, not only at City Pier, but he drummed at a lot of downtown New London places. Kente Cultural Center, Muddy Waters, Caruso's Music, L&G, the Elks Lodge, St. Mary's School, City Pier, the U.S. Coast Guard Eagle, Green Street Festivals, Sailfest Festivals for the first 30 years that Sailfest started. Also, the Public Library of New London. That was the place where that Dwight was reunited with his first drum instructor. His first instructor was Gary Evans, who worked at the New London Public Library for many, many years. And I was there to witness when the two of them drummed for the final time together. No matter where Dwight was drumming, he instilled a tremendous pride and joy in both his African and Native American cultural and heritage. His drum programs, especially to children, would typically turn into a classroom lesson in African culture, music, history, and he would also sing songs in the African native tongue and language. Dwight was more than just a music teacher and musician. He was more than that. During many years in New London, it was almost guaranteed to find Dwight Baldwin drumming at most events that involved Black history, Kwanzaa, Juneteenth, and during Sailfest. Even after he relocated to Georgia, he would come back to New London. My involvement in this dedication was by coincidence when I attended a city council meeting, and I met Councilman Peck for the first time, and we realized we had a friend in common, and that was Dwight. I want to publicly thank Councilman Akil Peck for his tremendous leadership. Yes. And to come forward, I have a gift for you. I have a gift for you. This is a bracelet with cowrie shells in Africa that holds tremendous value. And every time you look at it, I hope you think of today. I'm going to try to be brief. For those who ask the question, who is Dwight Baldwin? Dwight was an extremely proud and confident African and Native American Black man who was already aware of his powerful presence that could ignite a room full of people in the world he lived in. Some will call it the spirit within. Dwight had a beautiful, gigantic spirit that had profound, lasting impact upon this world and the people in it, including me. For the last 2 years that Dwight was with us, he went from being my drum instructor to a friend to my best friend, and I miss him.
Good morning, everybody! I miss my dad, y'all, and I'm gonna mess around and cry, but that's okay, I'm gonna continue to speak. I don't call him Dwight the professor, I call him Daddy. And he is the strongest force that stood behind me since I came into this world. And even if he is gone, he's still here. Look over there, he's right there. Amen. Look behind you, he's right over there too. And he's on the African Heritage Trail. His name is gonna be here forever. Amen. You hear me? Forever! Amen. I'm so honored, I'm so proud of my father. My Uncle Aaron, this is his brother. He's standing next to me because you know I'll probably pass out talking. That's how much I love that man. My sister, she is the reason for this thing right here. And her name is Phire. If you don't know, my dad named her. That fire was the flame behind this whole movement. I don't care what anybody says, family's everything, and my dad instilled that into us. You don't get along every day, but whoever showed their face today, that's support. And I want you to continue to come down here, not to gather, but to come see my dad. Come play on the drum. Then 20 years later, bring your grandkids to play these drums. Read that plaque. He's that guy, the professor, Dwight Baldwin. We love him. Amen. Woo!
He always inspired people to follow your dream and don't give up. And the many things that my brother did that I love the most, which I didn't even have in me, was the desire to keep doing what he was doing. Y'all have no idea how many setbacks, how many disappointments, but yet he kept pushing forward. He never wavered, and if you don't learn anything from him other than drumming, is follow your passion. You're never too old, you're never too young. You might get negativity from family, you might get negativity from friends. Follow your heart, follow your dream, and keep doing what you want to do. That was one of the many things I learned from my brother. Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen. Hi, I'm Darlene Key. I'm here on behalf of my husband, Marvin Key, who was a childhood friend and neighbor of Dwight. And soon Marvin will be here to experience his legacy.
He's here in spirit.
He's more than in spirit, okay? He has that determination. And what I want to impart is 2 quick anecdotes of what he was like as a friend that became family and brought family. And when I arrived here from Chicago, to me this was a whole new culture, and we had our firstborn son, and so I was so homesick. After 1 or 2 months, I was ready to go back home. So then he called and told me this, what happened. His friend, he went up to Montreal and to see his friend Dwight and his wife Merle play in the Shades of Joy. And that morning, a clothesline fell on Merle, and then during the set, she went into labor. So my husband took her to the hospital as a placeholder so that Dwight can continue to play. So, and this is Phire. Okay, and this is Phire, and my son Jason was here. So when he told me this story, you know, I said, oh, I wish I had met them, you know. So much later, about 2 months later, he said, Darlene, come downstairs. So I came down and said, somebody wants to see you. And that was my first time meeting Dwight and Merle and baby Phire, and we became family ever since. I initially became the babysitter. Amen. Okay, so when they would play at Connecticut College or any gigs, Merle and I, we each would have a baby around the same time. I have one, she had one, etc., until we got to Kimberly, who you just spoke to. But what I really want to let you know, Dwight, besides playing at Kwanzaa and all the other Connecticut College and all the other wonderful events, he also played what could have been the first race unity event in Bates Woods. And this happened in late July 1981. And I was trying to feel connected to this community, so I just got in the phone book and said, let's meet at Bates Woods, and it was to be a potluck. I called agencies and anything I could think of. And so when I arrived, I was the only one that brought anything. It was just a crop of chili. It was only a few people. But Dwight and Merle and Shades of Joy were really rocking. So the neighbors called and the police came. And so I had a toddler, and I went to explain to the police what was going on. And my toddler grabbed my leg and I tripped over him. And so from the crowd, people thought, oh, that policeman knocked over that pregnant lady and the baby. And everybody came out. And then Shades of Joy truly rocked. And more people came, food came out anywhere. And it was a coming together. And today, being here, it was a coming together. So I'm able to take pictures, remember this, bring this back to my husband to show. But the one thing that I want to mention that he stayed in my heart was that there's a quote, I can't think of it, the full quote right now, but what stands in this legacy is that music is a soul, it's a ladder to the soul. Amen. You know? And he exemplified that. And he had the most beautiful, wonderful spirit and brought me friends that became family. Amen. Thank you and have a blessed day, everybody.
Dwight Baldwin was a mentor to me, and Dwight Baldwin, I'm Dana Russell, the dancing maniac. I was introduced to Dwight Baldwin by the family, my great auntie, Lady Bo Bonita Miles, and Dwight Baldwin had brought me in to drumming. I had already been a part of the Performing Arts School of Industry with dancing. I became a professional dance choreographer, and Dwight had an idea to take hip-hop dance and bring it into the arts of the drum. And I was nervous at first because dancing to synthesizers and drum beat machines, it was a new thing being young at 20 years old in 1990, coming into the rhythm of the drum. So Dwight had to educate me on the drum, that the beats that you listen to, the beat machines, they originally came from the drums. The drums was what had set the beat for us to be able to have music. So with that, Dwight had introduced me into the cartoon industry, introduced me into the video industry. Dwight has played with Tracy Spencer, Kid Frost. Dwight has played with the Mary Alice Productions, with the Cartoon Education Productions. Dwight has sent me to Paris, France. Dwight has sent me to Virgin Records. I have signed a deal and later have became a preacher and became educated in the ministry. Dwight was always on my head. Dwight always made sure that I didn't do any drugs. Dwight made sure that I did not drink. Dwight always stayed on my head. Dwight became not only a mentor to me, but Dwight became a father figure to me. And everything that Dwight had me to do, I took it with an excellence, and it was also a culture learning. So as we continue to play for the blind, as he continued to travel to Tahiti, Japan, Hong Kong, Korea, he has traveled the United States of America and all the 7 continents that there is in this global. He has gone national and international. So this was a great opportunity for him to be able to have a plaque, not only just a plaque, but there will be a statue in the future. There will be a book, there will be a movie. When you hear about the Professor Dwight Baldwin, not the Dwight Baldwin who was in charge of the ship, but I'm talking Professor Dwight Baldwin. And the name Professor is because he didn't play for money, he played for education. He played for those that were less fortunate. He played for disability. He played for special education. He didn't cater to just the elite and to the well-educated. He touched many of hearts. And when you play the drum, You play to the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of the drum that it is that brings meditation, brings relaxation. It takes all of your pains away. It takes your worries away. And he also was spiritual. He also belonged to the Elks Club. We always would sit and have lessons about the Bible. We traveled the roads. He was my mentor. He told me everything that I needed to know. And I was just a kid at 19 years old, fresh out of high school. But I learned that I was the exact image of him. When he was younger, he loved to dance. I didn't find that out until his passing away. So I found that our birthdays are the same, December the 7th. I carry the legacy of the spirit of him before a legacy came. And today, I'd like to say to the family that I'm glad that they accepted me, because to be an official Baldwin is to know him. And his motto is family first.
All right, 3, 2, which camera? 2. I'm gonna hold on 2. Ready? When you pull that black tarp. 2. 1. Here we go.
So the plaque reads, Dwight the Professor Baldwin, December 7th, 1951 to December 3rd, 2021. In memory of a talented percussionist and influential musician whose passion for drumming was matched only by the commitment to sharing it with others. Through his leadership of the drum circle, teaching the ABCs of drumming, and performing with his band, The Shades of Joy, he brought culture, history, and rhythm to the people of New London, particularly the youth. His efforts in building cultural awareness, promoting African history, and fostering self-esteem were a testament to his dedication to inclusivity and the power of music. May his legacy continue to inspire and uplift those to follow in his footsteps. Thank you to the family, and thank you to everyone a part of this. Beautifully done.